Oh, yeah.
Bless and love, my lords. Welcome to another live interview powered by Red Lion. Joined here today, of course, by Dudley, our co host.
Hey, everyone, welcome to the show.
Oh, you
No,
didn't
because I'm
break
on
up.
my
That's good.
iPhone headphones. I need to plug it.
Okay, okay. Nice, nice. And what a pleasure to be chatting today with Jarrod from Hudlin. How's it going, sir? How are you?
What's up, guys? How you feeling?
Great, great. I'm always jealous of your mic quality, man.
Yo, that's when doing all these spaces and the live streams, I got this Manocaster thing. It was like $100. It's like a full soundboard, so like I can hit you with this.
Oh,
I can go
yeah.
crazy over here.
Okay, so all right. So, how much was that? $100?
It was like 110. So I just got it off of Amazon. It's like called Manocaster Lite. So anybody's doing a lot of
Oh,
spaces,
I'm
check it out.
so happy you just told me this because Dudley was trying to make me buy the other thing. How much was it, Dudley?
What,
$700.
like the Roadcaster? I think it's
Yeah,
like 400, yeah?
yeah. But you see, there are other options.
Yeah. No, this one works good. This one works really good.
Fantastic. Nice to know. Welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us. We did also an interview on Hadlin we streamed it on Twitter, and it was great. So thank you for inviting me there. But now time to listen to your guys' story.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. Let's get into it.
Mm-hmm. So let's start with your journey into the space, and if you want to share a little bit about yourself and your background, and how did you get into NFTs, your first foray into the space, and talk to us a little bit about that if you want.
Yeah, for sure. I got you. Um, so my background is I actually had a finance background. So I went to school for two things. One, I had one degree in finance, one degree in marketing. Ended up going the finance side. So for like 3 years, I was a licensed broker at E-Trade, and then I actually started working for the stock exchange. So I watched. We basically did oversight of live futures and options, and I did that for like 8 years. And I found the space is in that time. So it was like a year me being in the exchange. My manager at the exchange was mining Doge. This was like in 2014. It was a long time ago, and it was before it like blew up and was like this big, Elon thing or whatever. And I remember vividly. It's when they had bought an advertisement on the NASCAR, and he was like, "Hey, I'm mining this stuff. Do you want some?" And like, I didn't really know what was going on. I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So he got me like this little crappy wallet, sent me over a bunch of Doge. I've since lost the wallet, so like I've got a wallet sitting somewhere with like thousands of Doge in it that I have no idea how to get to, despite all my scouring. And then over the next few years, I just dove into crypto, like trading. I worked on the exchange, so like trading things that I didn't have to like get approved. So like anytime we traded stock, we had to have it approved by compliance. So this was like it got me my fix of trading without having to get anything approved because nobody cared. Um, so got heavy into it. Did lots of little different entrepreneurial things along the way, both involved in crypto and not. So like at one point we had this huge mining rig set up, like three different like stand up carts full of rigs where we were mining it and trying to optimize for what was ever like the highest, the most optimized thing to mine at the time. And I don't know how familiar you guys are, but this was like 2016, 2017. You had to, whenever something forked, you had to make the election manually, and the person that was in charge of like doing it at that time completely slipped up, didn't choose the manual election, and it was Zcash at the time. I'll never forget, it was Zcash. And so like, collectively I think we had like $25,000 in there with between like five of us, four or five of us. And so like that all just went away. So like I was kind of turned off of crypto for a little bit. So like we just sold all the hardware, kind of cashed it all out. I was turned off of crypto, did a bunch of different things. I started buying it again in 2020. Um, just dabbling, and I thought I was great because I bought ETH at like 600 again, and it went up to 1200, and I dipped, and obviously that was a mistake. But yeah, it's cool. I traded, and then at the end of 2020, I was first introduced to NFTs via NBA Top Shot, and that was my first foray into the space, and then just went crazy trading NFTs. It made a lot of sense to me, so I used to also sell tickets. So for like 3 or 4 years, like pre-COVID locking everything down here in the States, I had a ticket business. So I had a stock market background and I had a ticket business background. So like trading and illiquid markets like made a whole lot of sense to me. I was like, oh yeah, I can do this all day. Um, and then I'll leave it there so we can converse a little bit more as opposed to me just narrating. But
Coming from the Wall Street and finance with your finance background into crypto, what do you like more? Probably the crypto stuff, or you miss your time there on the finance?
so I can still anybody can still do the trading. I don't miss the finance world per se. Like it's just a completely
Mhm.
different culture. Um, it's not to say that necessarily one is better than the other, but I like the crypto side of it. Like truthfully, anybody that trades options is kind of a sucker for volatility. And crypto is the king of volatility. So like I kind of like it.
And when you started into NFTs, was that like the fuel that helped you get also more back into crypto and love it again after the initial disappointment?
Yeah, for sure. So I was in that, and then like I went down the crypto rabbit hole, but it was so funny because it was like I don't know, NFTs is like crypto on crack. You know what I mean? Like it just goes crazy. Like it's like leverage and volatility, and like it's just like dynamite. Like when you catch the right pump, I was never one of these ones to really be really sentimental about holding any of my PFPs. Like I did have a doodle that like kind of looked like me as much as a doodle can look like a person that I was kind of attached to, but like once it hits a certain number, like I don't hold on to stuff. Like I'm out, and I think that kind of comes from my finance background, my Wall Street background. Uh, nah, man. Like at a certain point, like some of
Yeah,
these things
why
are
why all finance bros love to dump? They cannot fucking hold anything.
well. So I think it comes from like, if you 10x, like in the real world, like not to say that that this is not the real, but if you 10x normally on an investment, dog, like you're good. Like you're like, all right, bet. Like that just made my whole year. So I think it kind of comes from that, right? So like usually on finance, like they're seeking like 20 to 30% returns. If they get 20 to 30%, let alone 2 3 10x, like nah, bro, I'm out.
I think that mindset maybe, I don't know, die or get altered in the crypto with the in the crypto sphere and trading cryptos and NFTs. I think it will evolve. The game evolves. It cannot be the same forever. I think that is a very old approach. Like always, I mean, like if you are on the Ethereum network, Ethereum is your native currency. Why dump it? All the assets are your native assets. So I don't know. It makes sense um to like ride it out. Use the funds, use the services, use the protocols, and bet on the industry, not just getting in, buying something, selling it out, and cashing it out. I think that is.
Well, for what it's worth, my
Mm.
I don't right now my entire portfolio consists mostly of music at this point.
Mm.
And I've probably sold at the most like 10 to 12 of my music NFTs. And then most of the rest of them I have
What music NFTs you like to buy most?
So from a music standpoint, I have a preference for hip hop. To be honest with you, though, I like just about anything as long as it's not country. I don't really rock with country too much.
Why?
Uh, it's just not really my bag, man. Like I don't know, like it's kind of corny to me. And so to each their own, though. Like I'm not mad at anybody that likes it. It's just not for me.
Well, I vibe with that, man. I connect with the state for country music. I had to play it on my boat all the time for my American guests. They were like, "Hey, let's make some cocktails, and you guys like Jimmy Buffett? Oh, we love Jimmy Buffett. Oh yeah, let me play you some Jimmy Buffett." And stuff like that. Pickup trucks and beers. I got sick of those songs.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely connect.
No, I feel you on that. And it's just, and like I said, to each their own, man. Like I listen to everything, like not everything, but most things, right? Like I have an inclination towards hip hop, but um, I like anything from classical music. Like I like samba. Like I like regular, like just kind of here and there some pop music type of thing. It just depends. It depends on the mood.
What do you think is the biggest challenge with uh, music NFTs, and why don't they see the same recognition and interest and attention as let's say visual art NFTs?
Yeah. So to be honest, I think it really is mostly generational. Right. So like when Napster came on the scene, like it just became really easy to get all the music you wanted for free. And then like Napster later evolved into streaming, right? So like, so many people for so long, that generation where that was the normal thing. And I'm before that, I'm a little older than that. But that generation for that whole thing, like, mostly paid, $10 a month or whatever your streaming cost is to like unlimited access. So like it's just not the same value of music. So when I was a kid, like I used to buy CDs. I used to like collect CDs and I had this big collection and everybody thought it was, everyone used to do that and even vinyls and things like that. So um I think it's just there's no it's really interesting though because I find it even in the NFT community, right? For people that buy into NFTs, they're like, yes, I fuck with NFTs, like this is my thing. But when it comes to the music, like it stops there, like, no, why would I do that? And I'm like, well, it's roughly the same argument. Like it's it's a provenance thing. It's like ownership. If you believe in that, like, and you want to own it, then you can. Um, but I think a lot of it's generational, and I think a lot of it is people just, it's never really been valued that high. I actually recently had a conversation with somebody. I can give you two recent examples where music kind of did sell as quote unquote fine art, if you will. Um, Everybody remembers when Martin Shkreli bought the Wu Tang thing, right?
But is that
You
sorry
know,
to
you're good.
interrupt, but is that oh yeah, I want to chat about that Wu-Tang album. But is that what we are trying to do, sell music as fine art, or are we trying to get people to consume music through NFTs instead of Apple Music or Spotify?
I think it's a mix, right? So like I talked to a lot of the musicians on this side. So like there's Verite out there, and she actually does really good streaming numbers. So she actually already has like a really big like traditional fan base. And then there's guys like Black Dave or Latasha, different people like that who do want their music consumed as fine art. But also, right, there's the I guess the class, if you will, of people that haven't experienced like very large, like scaled success on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever it is, where now is turned into another really powerful tool for them, where they can make a lot more money. Like their music career is a lot more sustainable when they incorporate NFTs. So I think it's a mix of both things.
Yeah, because I have said that in on previous chats we had here and with musicians also that like right now the YouTube music product, the Spotify product, the Apple Music product is unbeatable, man. Like it's like $8 a month, and I get access to. In my case, I pay for YouTube, so I get access to all the videos and live performances on YouTube that I like, or only the sound of it, and yeah, just for $8 a month, and there is an algorithm that like knows exactly what I like, and I don't have to spend any time. And every song that plays is amazing,
So
available to me all the time. So I don't think there's anything to compete with that there, uh, in the crypto world. Like there is no music for consumption, you know?
agreed. And while there are streaming platforms on the Web3 side, like I agree with you that like if you're going in there just trying to take down Spotify, like that's not going to work. I think it needs to be another tool, another monetization tool, and then I think people should lean into it. So like, there's two really good examples of people that have experienced more traditional success, and so like everybody knows who Taylor Swift is, and like the people that are Taylor Swift fans go crazy for Taylor Swift. So like in the event that she wanted to go into the Web3 side of things, it would be like a very powerful tool for her. And then something like, I'm going to take it to like a Grateful Dead, right? Like the Deadheads out there, like people go crazy over Grateful Dead, and like that is another good example where like Grateful Dead has a very, very loyal fan base, but not like a huge like commercial viability type thing where you could still monetize some of that base on the Web3 side and give them different access to different things via NFTs.
Yeah, I think my personal opinion it's that NFTs will be like more complementary. Um, for example, you can buy the album of the artist. That it will be like I don't know 1,000 pieces collectible. So you can buy the NFT, and this gives you tickets to his concerts or whatever extra that you would like to collect, maybe the physical vinyl to go with it. So yeah, I see utility and reasons for people to buy it, uh, even if it is strictly for collection. But I think there is a lot of way until people are actually using a platform to consume the actual music and discover music. I think that's going to be tough.
I agree with you. So I think discoverability is a major problem, right? So to your point, right?
In general, right?
Yeah.
In
Well,
general.
you turn on YouTube
Yeah.
right now, and like you said, like after you click on 4 videos, like boom, like it knows what you like. So that's a problem here, Ed. So like right now, I think the ideal person, like the ideal consumer, is somebody that like does like to dig through crates and look for vinyls. And I am that person, right? Like I like looking through that stuff, and I like discovering stuff that way. So it appeals to me in that sense. Um, I wanted to mention though, to your point, like with the physicals, I think there's a lot there. So in addition to the Martin Shkreli example, where he bought the Wu-Tang album, back in
Hmm.
2014, I don't know how familiar you are, but so Nip,
Let's give the TLDR a little bit about this story for the people who may not be familiar with it.
yeah, for sure. So, man, when was it? It was like 2018.
I
Give me a second.
didn't he go to prison earlier than that?
I can't remember, but yeah. So Martin Shkreli, one of the, they ended up calling him one of the Pharma Bros, right? Um,
Hmm.
Wu Tang was selling a one of one unreleased album that nobody else had heard. It was let's see here, that nobody else had heard, and they just put it up for auction, right? And so he bought this, and the case is crazy. Like I would, if you guys get a chance, like just type in Martin Shkreli Wu Tang, and like if you look at this case is insane. It's really really cool. But anyway, nobody had heard it. Oh no, he had to give it up in 2018, so it was actually before that. Anyway, it was one of one. He ended up buying it for like $1 million or something over $1 million, um, or $2 million in 2015. he bought it, was the only one to have it, was the only one to hear it besides Wu-Tang. And so it was this like thing. And then, when he went to jail, like he had to give it up as part of his settlement, like all these different things. Like there's lots of lore behind it at this point. But so to that same point, and a little less of a famous example, a year before that in 2014, so Nipsey Hussle, who's a rapper, um, who's since deceased, he was killed in 2019. Um, but he did a mixtape in 2014. It was free to download, but he sold 100 copies for $1,000 a piece. It gave you access to his one concert, and it was the only physicals ever printed out of it. And so I think, when in the right place at the right time, marketed to the right group, I think that there is a market for that.
I don't know. Maybe this guy knew that he was going to die.
Yeah, well, I mean, so obviously, like,
if he did his drop like that, he was like, let's leave one for the heroes. Let's give something to the people.
well, and that was actually the second
that's a
time
joke.
he did it. So he had done it 2 years before that, where he did 1,000 at $100 a piece, and it was the same thing. But I think that like that was like an NFT, like pre NFTs, if you will, but with a physical version. So here and there, I think it can work.
You said 1,000 of them at $100. I think that sounds a little bit familiar because I've noticed a lot of artists. That is a general comment. Their first goal is always 100K. That is always the first goal, monetarily. So I find it very interesting. Maybe I should look more into it and the psychology of like. Maybe it's like the first like 6-digit number. So I don't know, but I've heard it a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but well, I mean, for what it's worth, if you can get that number off, albeit arbitrary, like there's a lot that you can do. So like, that same guy Nipsey, right? So like he took a lot of that, and then he like funded, like obviously he's living on those things, but then he's funding like releases and tours and things like that. So maybe not so much today given like what inflation's doing, but 100,000 can get you started in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and with your passion for music, how did you end up with huddling?
Yeah. Okay. So how I ended up working in the Web3 space, actually, it's kind of a cool story. So like I was doing like the Discord grind, like doing DGen shit, like most people were, and I ran in.
What were you doing? What were you doing?
Man, just hopping in and out of Discords, looking for alpha, like you know how it goes, like talking to everybody, hitting DMs, like, what do you think of this?
I love it.
I found the Token Smart Discord, and like I really liked that group over there. That's when let's see, like I don't know, there were just a lot of people over there, but I ended up linking with Rizzle over there, who goes by NFT Land. You guys probably see him on Twitter. Always has some spicy takes. Um and he and I just connected. Like, I saw him in the Discords, I saw him on Twitter, this and that, blah blah blah. And then in one of those same Token Smart Discords, how I actually got into the music side, because I didn't know that like music was over here. I hopped into one of the Discords, and they had a live cipher. People just rapping to a beat, just freestyling. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, I didn't know you could do this on Discord. And one of the guys that hopped up, he goes by Louis C. Rhymes, was really good. I was like, okay. And like, I was kind of surprised. So I bought one of his NFTs just to support. I think it was like $40 at the time. Like, it wasn't crazy expensive. I was just supporting because I thought he did a good job. We ended up linking, and he came out with a whole like PFP slash it was like an audio visual like combination of a PFP for his album. And he was like, hey, I'm trying to put together some people. Would you be cool with helping me on this? So I helped him release the whole thing. Along the way, you know how it goes with releases, like you're looking for people to help cover you, you're trying to get some press, all these kinds of things. So Rizzle like came on and like did an interview with us, since I knew him, and he was just really cool, really supportive the whole time. He hooked us up with like Louis did some shows and some other Discords with some things that Rizzle knew anyway. And so near the end of 21, when NFT NYC was in November, Rizzle hits me and he's like, hey, are you coming to New York? And I was like, nah, I got a kid, my wife's traveling, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you should make it to New York. I'm like, fine. Fuck it, I'll figure it out. So I fly my mom out here. My mom watches my kid. I go to New York to NFT NYC. And it was really cool. Like, so Louis ends up getting booked for a show with Spotty Wi-Fi, right? Most people know who Spotty is. And it was on top of a bus outside of a club that Louis raps and then Spotty raps. And anyway, it was a good time, right? Like everybody goes and enjoys the live music. Rizzle afterwards, he was like, "Hey, you've been doing a pretty good job with this stuff. Are you looking for work in the space?" And at the time, I hadn't really considered it, but I was like, sure, I'll listen to what you got. And he's like, "Well, I got some people that are looking for stuff." So he gets me in front of the founders at Huddle In, and it worked out. Like they're working on it was a social media platform at the time, so where you could turn your like Instagram or your TikTok posts into an NFT for free because it's on Polygon. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. Like, we'll give it a spin. I'll do some contract work with them. And so, um, I can't even lie, man. That shit was exhausting. So for like 3 months, I was working two jobs full time, and it was a lot. Um, and then come February of 22.
Was that that was after COVID,
Yeah,
right?
that was like back when everything like had finally started to open back up, at least a little bit. And then in
Mhm.
February 22, they were like, "Hey, we want you to go full time. Like, just us if you want." And like, there was no way I could keep up two jobs full time at the same time. So I was like, screw it. Like, I've been at the exchange for 8 years. I'm ready for a change. Let me try it. And so then I went full time with Huddle In. And I'm like really kind of one of the only front facing people. The other people are devs on the team. And yeah, so like the title there is the director of growth. And so it's basically everything not dev related is basically what I'm doing.
I love it. Why don't you go ahead and explain to us what you guys do over there at
Yeah,
Hadlin?
yeah. So we kind of have like two main things that we're working on right now. So a little bit I had alluded to before is, it's an app in any of the app stores, whether you're on Android or Apple. Um, you download it, and anything that's on your camera roll, your TikTok or your Instagram, you can mint for free as an NFT. Um, there's lots of different things like that we're working on to come with that, but one of the main components and the other side of Huddle is we worked on building this XP protocol. So like I think we're all guilty of it, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, right? You get on there and you kind of scroll mindlessly sometimes. Like you might not even mean to do it. It might be just kind of reactionary or you just kind of muscle memory type thing, but you scroll. And so we were thinking, yo, how cool would it be like if you earned points for doing your regular actions? So if you like something, if you comment on something, if you get a follower, whatever it is, right? Everything has a point reward system. So think of any in-app reward, kind of like I usually equate it to like Starbucks, right? So you earn in-app reward points that can later be redeemed for different things. So started working on that, and it's a really good way for people to get involved into things and kind of up engagement, if you will, without necessarily having to spend money, right? So if you're already spending time on something, might as well get rewarded for it. And then from that, now what we're working on is we're like, well, actually, most people could use this, whether it's an artist, like an individual artist or a musician, Discord communities, other projects, things like that, right? So, like, if you already want people in your community and interacting with you, it is it makes a lot of sense that we can implement stuff and drum up rewards not only from the purchase stuff but with socials. And so the first iteration of it is we're live in Discords. Um, Fairly soon we'll be live with Twitters too. So like then we can make a bot points to your Twitter and says, "Oh, Dudley interacted with Red. Dudley gets 10 points for this." And or whatever you decide the point system to be. And then later on there's going to be like a whole redeemables market. So whether that's NFTs or merch or discounts on stuff, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, that's really interesting, man. And the way that socioeconomics and social interaction and engagement is incentivized or acknowledged is lacking. So this definitely addresses that. But it's definitely um, more apparent in a bull market. You remember those discords and people were like, oh, we cannot keep up, we don't remember who is who, what is going
For
on.
sure.
uh uh but now that is the bear is here and everything is fucked. Nobody cares. Like there is like 5, 10 people on discords and nothing is going on. So there's interaction on Twitter again is low. You can count your likes, or at least in my case, I don't know if anybody else is more famous. So it's overall down.
Yeah, and so like to your point, I don't necessarily disagree with you. And I think this is a good time to actually like set up infrastructure-ish type plays. So when things do roll back around and you've already got this integrated, not only is that traditional NFT like proof of I was here first type of thing, but also like it just makes it easy. Like everybody else that already has the projects or is already creating, it's very easy. They're already used to it type of thing. So I think again to your point, if people are still here right now, in all likelihood, they'll probably still be here when things turn up again too. So
I think this type of thing is fundamental in general for projects, and we see that with airdrops. The projects doing airdrops. First of all, the airdrop mechanic is the new meta. It will never go away. It's not like a fake trend. It's a new paradigm, in my opinion. But like as you can see, they are moving away from like, oh, we giving free money to everybody just to get our message
I miss
there,
those.
and they are going. Yeah, but those proved the concept. It was like the concept of the airdrop works. People get fucking mad about those. So yeah, you get a lot of interest, daily active users. You don't deplete your capital reserves to like just do advertisement. It's an incredible mechanic, and it's very fair also for the users who actually use it and have been part of those protocols and all of that. I think it's brilliant, and we see like gradual, I would say, optimization towards like acknowledging the people who vote, the people who take part, the people who support on Gitcoin. I think this is definitely the right direction, and people are being groomed to to exhibit this behavior, and it's working, man. Like people are like grinding in a way for the airdrops. I don't think that's healthy, but like there is the mentality when something new comes out or a nice protocol to actually use it and support it, because that's how people will get rewarded. And I think that's paramount, especially in the NFT space, because it needs to start happening here as well, and the rewards need to be more targeted. Because, for example, now we cannot do any giveaways because they backfire all the time. Some dude gets it, lists it for 0.00000, and yeah, that's it. That was a giveaway.
yeah, it's interesting, man, because I can't lie to like I said, man, I miss those airdrops, like those like the ENS airdrop and some of these other ones that came out, like the SOS one, some of those things, like where people just give you a whole bunch of money, which I tried to explain that to my wife. She's like, "Wait, someone just gave you money?" And I'm like, "Yes." It's hard to explain, but yes. So those were the good days, right? I don't think those will ever come back in that form.
Oh, in 2 days they are coming back. We have a new airdrop in 2 days, man. Where are you?
What do you got coming out? Let me hear.
What's it called? Oh, fuck, brain fart.
Well, I know Blur just happened,
Not
right? So
not optimism. The other one. Come on,
Arbitrum.
help me here, Dudley. Yeah,
Yeah.
Arbitrum. Yeah. So that is coming like in 2 days, man, and everybody's fucking hyped for it. Some IOUs are trading already in like $10 plus, and and I was like super lucky to to be in there since very early on, and I had a bunch of transactions. Especially if you remember when the Magic Mania was
Yeah.
in Treasure.
Yes. Yeah. People were
Yeah.
going crazy for
Yeah,
that.
so I was buying those fucking smalls, right? And these motherfuckers were expensive. And also, there came out another project, and it was a rug. And I bought tons of that shit. And it was like super cheap. Like, I think I bought like 150, but it was like one by one little transactions nonstop. And that fucking thing boosted me a lot.
It's so funny how all these came to be. So like there was one, ah man, what was the name? I think it was called Mutant Cats. Just these
Mhm.
stupid ass projects that came out, and then they set up this liquidity pool, and then if you staked your mutant cats, it was like some ridiculous redemption rate, but like it was something like $600 a day on these stupid DeFi
Fuck,
principles, and like
man.
I staked for like 6 or 7 days, and then Pranksy dipped. Like I had followed Pranksy into it, and I was like, "Look, I don't know about this thing, Mutant Cats." Pranksy dipped, and I was like, "Yo, when Pranksy's out, I'm out. I'm gone. Like I'm good."
Prank Pranksy has very good market acumen. He's a really really good trader. So good to follow him on that call. But in general, those airdrops, man, and the whole thing, the whole mechanics, it's amazing. You mentioned explaining to your wife. I was trying to explain it to my mom that well, the Uniswap drop was big for me because I also held it, and I was actively trading a lot on Uniswap, so it was really really cool. And I bought a lot more, so I didn't just keep what they said. But I was trying to explain it to my mom, and she couldn't understand it. That like, everybody got money from that. Like it was like something alien to her. Yeah, impossible to understand. But this is like Web3
Yeah.
to the average people,
Well, and the
maybe.
one I went
Like,
really crazy on. So you remember when Looks Rare did theirs?
oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. Oh
I,
my
I
God,
went
man.
crazy on the Looks Rare one. I got a good airdrop from it, but then like I just bought a whole bunch more, and then it pumped. It pumped to like $7 plus, and I was like, yes, this is it. I'm gonna be rich. And then it started to fall off, and I got out of it. I was like, I can't. I had too much risk on, so I had to
Well
take it out.
done. Well done. Well done. But like I was the other day I was curious and I want to make a stream about that with Darvid. I wanted back and I checked the art I was buying on Rarible. You remember when the Rary Mania was prevalent everywhere? Were you into NFTs back then?
I didn't get any of the airdrop, but I remember when it happened.
Mm. Okay, it was those days, and yeah, punks came out of hibernation, sort of speak. There was a new wrapper contract, so you can wrap your punk and like go in in the casino in Rarible and like put it there and like sell it to someone, buy another punk from someone else, and like grind 200-300 ETH of volume with 1-2 ETH sales.
Yeah, man. It's
And buys. But this was insane. But anyways, during that time, and before that time, there was a massive influx of artists and creators into Rarible, and they were making a lot of art. And I was buying that art. This is how I kind of started with NFTs by flipping art. And one of the places that I was doing it was in there, and I went back to look at this art, and man, it's the art is even by today's standards, it is unique. It is very a product of its own time. It's not perfect, but it's not bad at all. I really love, and you can see like the more like early stage of the NFTs and art and experimentation of people. And I thought it was really wonderful. I thought maybe I am biased, but I thought it was a wonderful period for NFTs and everything was great, during that time.
You know what I want to ask you about too? Did you ever mess with NFTX?
Oh yeah, I was filling up the pools um, before they launch. Like I couldn't fucking wrap my head around what it was, but I knew, like I could understand more or less what it does and that, and started filling up the pools. I bought some stupid crypto kitties. I put them in there.
Well,
What else?
one of the things I
Can't
really
remember.
loved, so in addition to the pools, like you're talking about, it was a really, really easy way to DCA into like different things. So like at the time I couldn't afford punks, right?
Mhm.
But it was a good way to get punk exposure on
Well,
dips.
that is still available though. You can still get punk as a token.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you can get 0.01 of a punk or 0.001,
and I love that. I think it's a great idea. Like, and
I
so
think this is amazing, but at the time that wasn't the case because punks were not like that valuable, and nobody was DCAing into a punk. There was not that notion was alien,
yeah.
so it was like completely different, and like all the degenerates, man. I remember that was an amazing time with NFTX. Like we were filling up all the um basically they launched so early and everybody had bags and they had vaults and you were putting stuff on the vault to get the token, but you didn't know what it's going to be worth. I sold way too fucking early. I had like 3,000 3,500 NFTX schmackaroos from filling up the vaults. I could have made a lot of money, but like I was a bit more anxious at the time, So uh, I sold quite early, but I still made profit. But it was a wonderful, wonderful time with NFTX and the whole thing.
Yeah, it was great. I definitely did way too many swaps, and I tried to arb, so that again, here comes my finance background. I would just try to arb things. So like when there would be disconnects on like OpenSea or Rarible or something like that, and NFTX had its slippage between the two markets. Like if you could get in cheap enough, like you could start skimming profits off these little things, off these little tiny trades, and I did that a lot.
Yeah, man. Wherever you can find an edge, especially at the time, that was money was flowing everywhere. I think that was great, and we will see that again. I think that NFTs this time will be a little bit more mature. Maybe not. Maybe I'm overestimating it. But yeah, we will see. Well, same if we can take like a parallel from the coins, from the shit coins, or the altcoins. In 2017, they pumped. People thought they were like every new coin was the new Ethereum or Bitcoin, and then everybody dubbed them shit coins. They don't do anything, and now we see a second wave of shitcoin renaissance. But these shit coins actually do stuff, and people want them and appreciate them for what they are. So it is different.
Yeah, guys, listen to you about the melancholy and history. So I want to ask, what is the future? Can we look at the crystal ball and can you give us some predictions where the markets will bloom again?
in 1 year, Dudley. I think by the end of this year, yes. Well, everybody gives you, replies that say, maybe. I won't give you specific reply.
Yeah,
By
maybe it
the
will
end of the
boom, maybe it
year.
will dump, maybe it will go sideline. But
By the end of the year, things will be pumping. By next February, we will be on the next leg up. So in like 12, 24 months, it will all be fucking ecstasy again. What do you think, Jared?
You think so? You think it'll be that quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're getting a nice little pump right now because everybody's scared shitless of the banks, right? Because the banks are terrible.
I'm very happy about that, because that was the original use case, fuck those guys.
By the way, I found it really interesting. You saw Credit Suisse is going down, and I saw Justin Sun came in and tried to buy it for $1.5 billion, and UBS wouldn't let that happen. But that was really interesting. I think that like some of the old NFT projects, some of the stalwarts that we see. So whether it's punks or meebits or doodles or just some of these things that like we kind of see now, those might always be around. I think that like they're going to evolve into something else.
Red Lion,
Red Lion, yeah, that's at the very top. Like I said, that's like second or third. It's probably above Chromie Squiggles, but below Pumps.
No. About the same level. But we love Squiggles also.
But so
Man, when I was minting Squiggles, I was like, nobody ever going to be looking for this. I didn't.
Right.
But I was minting a ton.
Yeah, you told me to mint it if I like it, not if I want to get rich, man. Why you didn't tell me the opposite? You motherfucker.
But you still got it, right?
I got it,
your punk and your Squiggles.
Yeah. At least.
Red's giving out good advice, man. There you go.
Yeah, I did mint.
I minted like I don't know 30 maybe 60. I minted Squiggles, but I was just doing it like you don't understand. Like Art Blocks was not like huge. It was like Gazette is right now. If you mint like 60 gazettes right now, you're doing it to support us. So I was like supporting the idea, the platform, what Snowfro was doing. He's amazing, lovely guy. Always perfect. So I was like, yeah, I made 0.3 on that art trade. Let's buy more art. I was like not taking money, and so it was really, really fun. But yeah, I was telling Dudley, don't buy it to get rich, man. Just buy it to support.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody knew. But then, so to your point earlier, there was a period where it didn't really matter what came out on Art Blocks. They was all pumping.
Well, that was because the discovery, right? Oh well,
yeah.
You never know what's. I was like when Squiggles were at 0.25. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have sold one Squiggle. Maybe I should be buying them. But it's like, sometimes like the new market participants have an advantage of perspective, of first perspective. I should have just bought punks and Squiggles. That's it. That's all I do. But you never know. Like as I said, it was a different mindset when I was buying them, and the people who were coming into the market was a different perspective when they were buying them. You understand? So
yeah, for sure,
it's different.
Well, so to that point, I just wanted to say, like, there was. So I remember when Bored Apes started minting, and Gary Vee was at the same time, and I didn't really know much about Bored Apes, but I had a pretty good feeling. I was like, Gary Vee's not gonna let this thing flop. So I saved up and I minted a few of the Gary Vee things, and they did well, but they didn't do Bored Ape Yacht Club well.
I mean, like Gary Vee has a history of being like a soft grifter or like selling wine of arbitrary value as like he specializes in that sort of thing. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah, he does his thing and uh, he gets there. I'm not a big fan, but like when Apes came out, I was like, Dudley, remember? I was like, oh, you made that shit.
I remember the exact tweet, man. It was in the morning.
That
You
tweet
slept.
didn't age well.
You slept long, and you were shouting at people, "If you want to lose money, you made this shit," or something like this. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, sometimes I say mint squiggle, but sometimes I say Bored Ape Yacht Club is shit. Will you for 0.35 the next morning? So yeah, I don't know. Both ways. But let's give a shout to Sorry, I dropped the phone. Is everything okay? Yeah. So let's give a shout to all our live listeners here. Hadlin, Masna, God Matrix, Chromie, Actual 3D Punks, Dicasso, God Save the Goat, Rene, Luca, Stephen, Sweet Potato, Rosie Beck, and our friend Eric Astrameki. Thanks everybody for being here. And if you guys want to join the conversation, just raise your hand, and we'll pass on the mic and get you up here on stage to chat. I mean, like we are chilling here now. The main body of the interview is is gone. Okay, we have Eric wants to come up. Let me see if we can have um, speakers now. Okay, it works. Hey, how's it going? Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Red Lion brother, how's it going, man?
Great. How are you doing, man?
Stoked for this Arbitrum airdrop in 2 days. I think for those of us who've been in the space for like 2 years and we're grinding those Bridge World quests 50 times a day across 10 wallets, we didn't think we'd ever see this day come. To be honest, I never thought RV would actually airdrop anything.
Well, people were like, yeah, that was obvious. People have been grinding that forever, but I wasn't aware. I was like organically put into that spot, so I enjoyed that. I was happy. I was buying this rug. How was it called? Peekaboo.
I
Any
have
of you
a
bought
hundred of
Peekaboo?
those. I have 100 of those
Yeah.
damn things staked. Fuck, man.
Well, you got your money now because you bought that shit. So that was all transactions and volume.
Yeah, and there was like a hidden utility, you know, surprise utility to grind layer 2, and you get airdrop.
The funny
Airdrop
thing
it.
part was like Peekaboo was actually a half decent game. It was one actually like the better, more simpler board games that were like on Treasure compared to like Bridgewood Questing or anything, right? And so it was sad because they had it, and then I think the team was like, we have to go back to high school, and we're out, and then it was done.
summer vacations over.
Okay, guys, summer is over. Back to school. Project is over. I'm sorry.
It's September. We need to rock. Sorry.
You lost your money. Oh man, I remember I was buying those stupid fucking ghosts because there was like a simple ghost and another type of ghost, the more rare one, and that was like 140 magic, and I was
The
like,
Buster.
yeah, the Buster. I can't believe that you were also buying peekaboos. Jared, did you dip your toes into peekaboos?
I didn't. No, steered clear of that. But I'm regretting it now because you guys are about to get, a little come up on that. So
I think if Arbitrum does as well as people say, I mean, like peekaboos will be some of my best buys. I mean, like, it will go into my resume.
What about you guys mentioned on the ordinals? You guys get on that side of things? I haven't got into that at all.
Well, not really. I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen there. I'm not very excited about the technology there. I don't see any reason. I guess there is some reason to do it there. Uh, but I would say that it is like a fake trend, or like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Like their the Bitcoin chain wasn't made for this, and like the way it is, like you have to have specific satoshis. I don't know, doesn't scream innovation to me. Definitely there is usage for it, but I'm not going crazy. However, I found a good artistic project there. It was by Nulish. I bought two ordinal claim passes. So what he does is like he found some satoshis. Basically, like every satoshi on Bitcoin has a unique identifier or something, and they are like using that as the NFT or like the unique thing. And yeah, he found some satoshis from Satoshi Nakamoto, or associated with him or something like that, and like he made like this nice project with those. And now he said he found from Halfini. Like, I'm not following all the details, but like more or less what what I get quickly. So I think this is going the right direction. But this is an art project. I mean, like, I don't think Bitcoin is suitable to set up markets like OpenSea and protocols and stuff like that. I think it's, I don't know. What do
I agree
you
with
think?
you. No, I agree with you. I think it's like super niche. So like it might be a cool collectible for people that have the disposable income, but like, and I guess for people that are like, trading a lot, but like in terms of like mass adoption, no way.
Yeah. And also the way they launched with the punks, I mean, like, was like 1 year after fucking Solana did it. Like, you are imitating something that somebody else was like ostracized for imitating. So that also didn't make sense.
Bless
Yeah,
those
go ahead.
guys who dumped on Ryan Carson, right? Like whoever that dumped like was like 70 punks on him or something, and then like 2 weeks later he quit the space on those BTC punks.
Oh yeah. Well, he quit the space like last night, wasn't it? Like he sold his punk. He popped up in a private group chat, and he was like, "Oh, how can I rob the punk?" And I don't know. Probably people explained to him because like 10 minutes later, the punk was gone, sold. So that was probably why he wanted to wrap it, and it was like, fast, boom, done, out and done. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else wants to raise their hands before we close, or Dudley, do you have any questions?
I have a question. Are we going to meet in New York with guys from
Yeah,
Hub?
Jarrod, are you coming? You guys coming to our events?
Tentative. I still gotta. Yeah.
What the fuck means tentative, man? Come on.
I gotta get somebody to watch my kid.
What kind of reply is that? Tentative. Say yes.
I mean, I guess I can bring my kid with me and just bring her around to all the events, but and I need someone to watch my kid. So that's my only drawback right now.
Yeah. Well, use your Arbitrum airdrop and hire a nanny and come party with us. or go into your mom's room when she's sleeping and steal $100 from her purse and get a nanny for free.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try it. So that's my only thing. If I can work that out, I'll be there.
That's gonna be great, man. And joking aside, like the whole huddling team, if you guys, I think last time Jackie was also on the call. If you guys are in New York or if you're coming, definitely, if you can join our event, that would be great. But we would love to meet you anyways, wherever we can.
Yeah, for sure. And then I don't know how much I'm supposed to say about it here, but Red, if you, I don't know what your singing voice is like, but there's always an epic like karaoke bar that's going on up there. So
Oh yeah, you told me about this. This is very alpha. Dudley, we need somehow to claw ourselves in there, like little snakes. We need to
Yeah.
we need to get in there.
Singing lion duo.
But like I'm the worst karaoke singer, man. Like one time I did it in public and it was awful. I had like a very bad experience and
They
the
still
people also
remember.
I still cringe when I think about it.
what was
People
the
told me
song?
I don't even want to say it, man. It was so
Oh,
bad.
we gotta know. We gotta know.
It was like it was the love song from Aladdin. I was trying to fuck that chick, and it
A
was a
Whole New
duet.
World.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the one.
yeah.
Oh my god, that was so fucking cringe. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I was like, yeah, if we do that, I'm getting laid for sure. And yeah,
I would pay to hear Red sing A
it
Whole New
didn't work,
World.
by the way. I didn't get laid, so it was cringe for no reason.
So you were humiliated and no fun even. That's the worst
Yeah.
outcome.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. But yeah, that karaoke sounds good, and I will try to choose another song this time that complements my voice. I will sing our song. We have the song now. You heard it at the
Yeah.
I heard
beginning.
it. I heard it. Yeah, yeah. That would that would be a good one. So, how are you at rapping? So, like usually, like I don't have a good singing voice, but I can rap. So, like I usually do rap songs when I go up.
Oh yeah, rapping with my Greek accent will sound.
Hey, as long as you get the job done, man.
I don't know. We will see. But this is not a rap. It's like a sea shanty. I can do that. Everybody can. Even drunken sailors could. So, I
Yeah,
bet
it's
easy.
basically on one single note, so yeah, it's okay if you are out of tune. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. I don't know if you have anything before we close, Jarrod. Maybe where can people like get in touch, enter your community, get more information for Hadlin and their communities?
Yeah, for sure. So, my DMs are always open. I kind of live on Twitter, so anybody can always hit me up. Hudlin's in the crowd, so you can always go straight to them. We have a Discord as well too. Any questions you have, you can hit the Hudlin line. You can hit my line. Happy to help. It's very accessible, from the app stores and whatnot. But yeah, it's really open, and we're on different time zones. So I'm on New York time. The founders are out of Pacific time. They're out of California. So we usually have some kind of somebody there to talk to you if you need to talk to somebody. So hit us up.
Amazing, amazing. We are also in Asia, Europe, America, everywhere. So we also have the time zone problem.
Even Australia, man.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, Australia's tough. Australia's a
Yeah.
tough one.
That's tough.
Actually, New Zealand is tougher. Silarwi was tougher with times than Darwin is. But yeah, guys, thanks everyone for listening. The Gazette is available, 0.1 mint per Gazette. You also get a free art drop. You can consider a subscription if you don't like to be doing that weekly, and it automatically your Gazette is guaranteed, and you can claim it whenever the gas is low and all of that jazz. Thank you so much for listening. Tomorrow we have Shane Lavalette at That is like 2 p.m. EST, Thursday, Mark Graf, and also our artist spotlight with DJ JD, so double bubble for Thursday. And then we are putting up some streams together for the weekend with Darvid, so stick around. Thanks everyone for listening. Take good care. Have a great day. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye bye.
Thank you guys.